Okay. So he said, Nimrod, a great hunter of man, he says, let's build bricks, and then let's build a city. Why did he say, let's build bricks first? What do the bricks represent?
Okay, bricks are really important things here. And later on in the 5 books of Moses, ancient Jewish wisdom highlights the fact that an altar to God must not be built of bricks, right? It has to be built with stone. Why? Because this tension between bricks and stones is absolutely crucial. Bricks and stones are a biblical metaphor for the way people should be stones and the way we are easily pulled to becoming bricks.
I live in Connecticut. Stone walls are so beautiful because everything is different, and it takes a real artist to be able to put them all together. So you're saying that the stones are representative of people, right?
Two differences between bricks and stones. Number one, every brick is the same as every other brick. That's the whole point. They're totally interchangeable. Right. If you want to turn people into bricks, you are able to turn them into interchangeable socio-economic cogs that can just be plugged around society. The second thing about bricks is they're made by man. Stones are each and utterly unique. So when we have as a tradition in Western civilization that man is created in the image of God, what it really means is that just as God is unique, so is every single human being unique, just like a stone. Don't allow other people to turn you into bricks. Retain the personality and the purpose for which you were created.
It's the difference between yes, I can, and yes, we can.
Yes, exactly.
Right, okay. So Nimrod is a guy, and he says, I'm going to build bricks. Was it a real religious society? Because this is right after the Great Flood. Everybody's wiped off, and everybody's scattered their own way. They all have their own language, right?
Many different languages.
And they're all worshiping God.
Yes.
And Nimrod comes, and is there something about, he had a new idea, right? Tell me about the new idea.
The new idea is, and it's presented as the Babel blueprint. This is not a long-forgotten story. This is actually something which is as relevant today as it will be tomorrow, as it was when Robespierre was conducting the French Revolution. The principle is always the same. The two competing ways of organizing human society. One is the Abraham vision of individual independence, individual accountability, God-centric, versus the idea of centralized control.
And it can be really, even our founders, both Thomas Paine and Thomas Jefferson, were misled by Robespierre. They thought the French Revolution was good. It's a very subtle difference if you don't know what you're looking for, right?
Very important difference, exactly right.
And Thomas Paine ended up in prison.
So Abraham gives the vision of individual independence, which always has to include economic independence. That's absolutely crucial. And sure enough, Abraham, first man in the Bible described as a wealthy man. A blessing, a good thing, not a curse.
Okay.
It's a good thing.
All right. So when we come back, the bricks and the mortar. And when, America, when you find out what the mortar means, in Hebrew, right?
Yes.
Yeah, what that translation, mortar is not mortar, bricks are not bricks in this story. When you see it, and you'll begin to see the parallels of what is happening today. Remember, this is a story to remind us what not to do. And then God gets mad and punishes them. No, he doesn't. Wait until you hear the rest of this story. Back in just a second. I think I've turned into the church lady today. I want to talk to you a little bit about the Tower of Babel. Why? When you hear the whole story of the Tower of Babel, you will see the pattern that is being repeated today, and it will end the same way unless we wake up. Rabbi Daniel Lapin is here, a friend of mine, president of the American Alliance for Jews and Christians, an extraordinarily brave man, and a man who is part of the Black Robe Regiment. It is good to have you here.
Wonderful to be with you, Glenn. Thank you.
I want to talk to you. I want to pick it up at we have the Tower of Babel.
Yes.
A hunter, the king Nimrod, says, "Let's build bricks, and then we'll build a tower." but the bricks represent people. He's taking people and making them all uniform and exactly the same, right?
Yes.
But in that part, he says bricks, we'll use bricks and mortar, right? What is the mortar? Bricks and mortar. Why is the mortar part important?
Yeah. Well, this Bible blueprint is a depiction for all time of how the world really works.
Okay.
And one of the way it really works is that in every epoch, there is always going to be somebody who tries to seize power. And what these 11 verses, these 9 verses in chapter 11 tell us is, here are the things you have to watch out for. Here are the things that a potential tyrant is going to do in order to seduce you. Well, number one, he's going to have a tower. Now, a tower means reaching for the skies, appealing to everything that is great in human nature. Now, look, any leader, whether you're taking care of your family, whether you're running a business, whether you're a military leader, you know, military recruiters don't say, hey, come join us. The food is horrible. You're likely to get killed and you're going to be in horribly hot surf. They don't do that. Step forward and play a role to defend your country. Be all you could be. You appeal to the highest in human nature. That's what tyrants learn to do as well.
Here's what he did, though. He erased religion. He said God's not important.
Correct.
Right?
We're making war on heaven. Yes.
Right. We're making a war on heaven, really.
Correct. Yes.
And we're building a tower to reach heaven.
And we don't need gods. We don't need stones. We don't need anything that God created, because you are great. People are great. All of this is going to be built with bricks. And we're going to make you all interchangeable. And that's why tyrants will do exactly that.
Okay. And the mortar that holds those bricks together.
Yes. Now, in Hebrew, the word mortar is very related, same word really, as the word materialism. And you can actually even hear the similarity transfer into the English language. Mortar, MTR are the key consonants. Material, matter, same word essentially. And it's very important, because the lesson from ancient Jewish wisdom here is that you can bond people and unify people with a sense of common spiritual purpose. But if you're going to eliminate the spiritual, if you're going to take God entirely out of the picture, then you can unify people through materialism. Get people in debt. Use your credit cards, folks. Buy stuff, acquire stuff, and then you can rent storage facilities to keep all the stuff you bought that you don't need. Right. But that way we'll all be in this together, and we can all talk about the great commercials we saw during the football game, and we're all in this great materialistic splurge, because it'll unite people.
America, I want you to think about this. What he's saying here is, the king made everybody into bricks, so they're all exactly the same. Everyone's equal. Everyone's equal. And then the mortar that holds it together is the stuff, the material, not their common experiences of spiritualness or even history. Think about this. What holds us together as a nation? 2 years ago, did you know a lot of our own history? How many Americans right now can't tell you the signers? Can't tell you anything about the American Revolution. Can't tell you about Frederick Douglass. Can't tell you anything about our history. But we all know Nike. We all know the Mercedes-Benz logo. We all know everything about materialism. If you think about what we're headed for. If you take our materialism, our stuff, our wealth, our TVs, our phones, if you take that away, what holds our bricks together?
Exactly right. And what any tyrant knows is that you cannot enslave a people that believe in the boss. You can't. And so therefore any tyranny will always begin to develop a hostility to traditional biblical faith, a hostility to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, a hostility to biblical commitment of any kind at all. You will always find that, whether it's Cuba or the Soviet Union or anywhere else, secularism becomes the religion of the day. In fact, I gave it a name. Secular fundamentalism, I think, is the religion of the day.
Okay, so I'm going to take a break, because I guess where we go now is God gets mad and punishes them. But actually, this is a happy ending.
It's a wonderful ending.
Yeah,
because it's one filled with hope for us, I think.
Right, because it's not, God doesn't get mad, and He doesn't punish them. And then we're going to end where we began, with the actual picture of the Tower of Babel, below your mind, coming up. telling you the last few days that higher food prices are coming. I told you earlier today that I saw a report out of, I think it was Shanghai, out of China, one of the big distributors for the clothing here in America for JCPenney's, Walmart, and what was the other one? Target? Which one? The Gap. The Gap is saying, all three of those retailers are now saying that clothing prices could go up as much as 30% by spring. Please prepare. Please prepare. We're going to help you do those things here in the next, in the coming weeks and days and months, quite honestly. Because you're going to be presented with a choice. And the choice is, we can be bricks, and we can, yes, we can, or yes, I can. And I can reach out to my community, and I can reach out to my neighbor, and I can help. And together, a collection of strong eyes will make the strongest we the world has ever seen. We've done it before. Now, there is a new global order that is coming. One that is George Soros doesn't seem to have a place for the American free market system or the American system at all. Now we're being shoved headfirst by our own people. We have seen bill after bill that does nothing but collapse our system. Healthcare already costs, they're already going through the roof. At least 111 companies have been declared exempt from having to use Obamacare. Many of them, the ones who helped design it. If it's the most historic bill of all time, why would anyone who helped design it especially want to be exempt from it? It is so delicious. Even the group who helped design the bill, the unions, getting exemptions from it now, it's a job killer and an economy killer. You know it and I know it, and so do they. Europe is ahead of us. They're on fire because of the similar policies that they have done years ago, and they've all failed. What they've created over there is coming apart at the seams. But instead of admitting wrong, they're doubling down and trying to force the entire globe into a new world order. This may seem like a new story to you, but a new world order is not. The very first time that this was tried, let me bring in Rabbi Daniel Lapin. He's the president of the American Alliance for Jews and Christians. Rabbi, the very first time socialism or communism or a new world order was tried was the Tower of Babel.
Tower of Babel, yes.
Okay. So let's just pick the story up. If you missed the story, if you missed the first half of the show, DVR the show, man. What are you thinking? The idea was this hunter of men started to erase God. He became king. He said, let's make people all like bricks, all the same, not like stone. The mortar that will hold those bricks together is materialism.
Yes.
Okay? And we'll have this utopia. We'll build a tower that will reach the heavens.
Yes, you will be able to fulfill your highest aspirations in that fashion.
We are all bricks.
And I urge people to read the story and to listen to us, not as if we're describing some long-forgotten historic event, but we're describing what's really happening today and will happen in our grandchildren's generation somewhere in the world again.
It'll happen over and over again. Yes. Okay, so now tell me the happy ending, because I've always read the story, and God gets angry, and he comes down, and he scatters the people.
Okay, fine. Well, to just put it into context, the surest indicator that this is going on is when your leaders try to turn you from stones into bricks. And there are lots of different ways that's done, depending on the epoch in history. Right now, for instance, you might find that people want to get you out of one of the most beautiful expressions of freedom and independence, the automobile. You can buy it in whatever color you want, whatever make you want. You can go wherever you like, when you like. No, we want you all in public transport. And it's always for the tower. It's always for the higher purpose. We're going to save the environment. We're going to have fewer cars. Surely you want to save the environment.
Right, right.
And then housing. Where the housing is in Cabrini Green in Chicago or in Moscow, government housing always looks the same. Everybody in ticky-tacky little boxes, because we want everybody to be like bricks. And there'll also be a war on states' rights, because we're taking away individuals' rights. We're even going to take away states' rights. It's all going to go to the tower in the middle.